episode of TK Today. I'm Isaiah.
I'm Chelsea, and we're here to bring you several interviews, starting with Miss Appleman.
Good morning, TK Stone. I'm Destiny, and I'm here to talk about bullying with Miss Appleman. So, Miss Appleman, can I ask you a few questions?
Yes, you may.
Okay. How should kids respond to bullying?
Well, it depends on what level of bullying they're experiencing. It might be something as simply as another child might be teasing them, and they might be able to say something like, I don't like it when you do that, and that can stop it. But if the bullying persists, if after you've asked someone to stop, if they keep doing it, that's when you need to go ahead and report it to someone, an adult, a teacher, or the counselor, or the assistant principal or principal.
Okay. What happens if there's not a teacher right there to stop the bully?
Well, usually, when you're in the school, if there's not a teacher right there, you can walk away from the situation. A lot of times there might be other people standing around. So if someone were like bullying another child and that person couldn't get away from that person, there was an adult standing near, then those bystanders that are near those children need to make sure to go get someone and get help. If the student's alone and there's someone messing with them, they just need to remove themselves from the situation and just walk away until they get to if you're in the school, there should be someone nearby that's an adult to get to. Of course, I always say if you're out in the middle of nowhere and there are no adults anywhere and you're on your own outside somewhere and someone's messing with you, you have to defend yourself. I always tell students there may become a time when you do need to defend yourself. But if at all possible, you can avoid, in a school system, there's usually an adult, someone that can help you to stop the bullying.
How should kids react to bullying when it's in their neighborhood?
I think you should always, if there's any bullying going on in your neighborhood, I think you always need to be aware of. A lot of times you're dealing with maybe young people that you don't know very well, and that's not a real good time for confrontations, especially if you're out on your own. So if you notice there like a group of kids that are bullying other kids, best thing to do is tell your parent. Make sure they know about it. If you see one of your friends, somebody's messing with one of your friends, and you all talk about the situation, if they're not willing to go to their parent, you probably still need to go to your parent so they can talk to your friend's parent, because some adult needs to know if kids are if there are people out there messing with them. And then at that point, depending on the severity of the problem, it may be something where you even contact the police if it's pretty bad.
How bad can bullying get on a scale of 1 to 10?
Well, I would say beyond 10 sometimes. There's cyberbullying. There's people physically aggressive and beating up someone else. It can be very serious, and that's why we don't take it lightly at all. So simple name calling and teasing, that's very painful and it's hurtful and can have lasting consequences for that person that's hearing that negativity. And so we try to take care of it in the early stages, and we don't like for it to progress, because it can absolutely cause children to feel terrible, and sometimes kids do things that they shouldn't do because they feel so badly.
Okay, thanks for coming down and talking about bullying.
Thank you.
I'm Destiny, and this has been Chat with Miss Appleman about how to stop bullying.
Thanks, Destiny, for that great interview on bullying.
Next up is Graham Smith, Parker Haynes, and Clayton Rudder with Mr. Elmore on his new job as assistant principal.
All right, so this is our vice principal, Mr. Elmore, and my
Clayton, how we doing today? You doing okay? Graham, how we
Pretty-
doing? You doing
that's a
okay?
nice office.
Excellent, excellent.
So how do you like your new job as vice principal?
You know what? I tell you, I'm really excited and really enjoying it. It's a lot of hours. A lot of you see me here early in the morning and also at the sporting events. This weekend I was here at about 10, 11 o'clock at night with a basketball tournament, but I really, really do enjoy it. Probably the most favorite part, I guess, would be lunchtime. When I'm in the lunchroom, I get to visit with the students, and also in the hallways or in the classrooms when I make it in the classrooms to see the students as well. I really enjoy that.
And which do you enjoy better, being vice principal, or do you ever miss being like a history or civics teacher?
There are times when I miss teaching a little bit. I really do like my history and civics. There's one thing I've always liked, even when I was a middle school student, I enjoyed history. I remember Mr. Bernard here who taught. I also remember my history teachers at the high school, Coach Hare and so forth that I had. And I've always had an interest in history. The History Channel is one of my most favorite TV channels. So yeah, I do miss it. If I told you I didn't, I probably wouldn't be telling the truth. But I also like all the, I guess you would say, interest and many different I guess you would say, avenues that vice principal or assistant principal brings. You know, you have experience with the students. You also have it with the teachers. Ms. Mather, you also have parents. And as well, I keep my hand in the sports. And that really entices me, I guess, to kind of keep moving forward and keeps me focused on the duties that I do have.
Speaking of sports, do you ever miss being a football coach?
I do. You know, there's nothing like a football Tuesday night here at TK or a football Friday night. That dates back to when I played in 1987, 88, when we went undefeated at the Etown High School. So there's something that always gets you excited about football. But like I mentioned before, having my hand in the basketball, volleyball, boys basketball, and football teams here at TK, as well as baseball in the spring, that's enough to kind of keep my interest and keep my focus. And I enjoy working with Coach Savage and Coach Thorne, Coach Ball with the cheerleaders and so forth. And that keeps me enough in sports to where I don't miss it as much as I thought I would.
And how are you enjoying, or think we're doing so far in our sports season?
I think sports season, doing real well. You think about the girls, 7th and 8th grade, who finished 1st and 2nd in the regular season. They both won the tournament. Football had a little bit of rough time. They did make the state playoffs for the 3rd year in a row as they traveled to Wayne County. And the boys game, you know, actually kicks off tonight. The boys season does. So it's looking to be an exciting year here as we finish up. And then, of course, we got volleyball and baseball. So it just keeps on rolling, you know, with the sports teams.
And what are your hopes for the remainder of the school year?
Well, you know, I guess one of the things that the faculty and staff really hopes or dreams about, I guess, is this new, you know, team building that we're going to have. I think that it's going to be exciting for the staff. I think it's going to be exciting for the students as we develop our teams and get to know each other. Maybe a teacher on a little bit more close basis, I guess. And I think it's going to help us. It's going to help us with our attendance, with our grades and our classes, and also with our testing. And I think that that's probably the most exciting thing, or what I want to focus on here at the remainder of the year, because that can serve a lot of different purposes. If somebody's having a problem, they can go to that team, they can go to that teacher and talk with them. If they're having trouble with homework, maybe they'll find somebody else that's real good in math, and they could work with them on that. And I think that that's going to carry us through. You know, there's one thing we talk about, is we talk about pride, and I see that on a daily basis. Whether it be somebody opening the door, somebody helping another student, I see it almost every day, which is really, really exciting. So I guess, to sum it up, that's probably what I'm most excited about and looking forward to the rest of the year.
And speaking of the year, how do you think the year's been this far?
You know, I think it's gone well. I tell you what, I don't know about you all, but it's moved very, very fast for me. You know, it's hard to believe that Thanksgiving's right around the corner, and then Christmas will be here. Next thing you know, it'll be over with. And in my 16 years of education, they always say as you get older, which I am, it moves a little bit quicker, and that's one of the things that I'm noticing. You know, I can't just say enough about the students, and I say it on a daily basis, a morning meeting, that it's what the students make it. And I think so far that the students have made an exciting year for us here at TK, and I believe that, you know, we've got 6-7 months of the same, if not even more exciting.
And that's our interview with Mr. Elmore.
Thanks, guys. Our third interview is with Philip Hayes, Parker Haynes, Garrett Valentine,
And Chase Kerr on their interview with Mr. Neppy as the new principal at Morningside Elementary School.
Hi, I'm Garrett, and I'm here with Mr. Neppy with TK today. Mr. Neppy, how do you feel about your new job?
I love it. I think it's great. I miss TK. TK is a great place, great people. I miss the students. But Morningside's good too. A lot of great people, a lot of great kids, and it's a lot of fun. We're getting a lot of things accomplished, so I enjoy it a lot. It's fun every day.
For a short break, we'll give it over to my friend Phil here. Hi, my name is Phil Hayes. I'm here with some more questions from Mr. Neppy. Mr. Neppy, what is your opinion on Mr. Elmore being the new assistant principal at TK?
I think for a guy that dresses up in a fairy costume, he does a pretty good job of it. I think he does all right. Seriously, no. Mr. Elmore, you will not find a better person for the job. He's perfect. You'll never get anybody better. I think the world of him as a teacher, as a coach, as a leader. Very fortunate. He's a good guy.
What are some of the things that you missed from being the assistant principal at TK?
You know, the one thing at TK that's neat that you don't have at the younger level is the extracurricular activities as much. the basketball, the football. There's so much going on at TK after school is over, whether it's fuel up or whatever. That's kind of a neat, exciting thing to see people that age react in those situations. And I think the conversations are different. You know, when you're talking to a first grader, of course, you're not carrying on the same conversation as like me and you can have. So academically, I think one of the things I miss is the types of things you can do academically, the things you see people achieve sometimes at that level is pretty neat on a day-to-day basis. I miss that.
And what are some of the perks of being the new Morningside principal?
You know, I think there's a lot of perks. One, once again, just like TK, I went to a place that has great teachers, great people, so it's always nice to come to work. But I think the other perk is in elementary school, the kids, they're so young. They still have, a lot of times when you go down through the halls, the first grade classrooms, and that, they still have that thing where they're giving you hugs and things. It's a different environment, but it's kind of a neat thing too with that. So I think that's always good.
Signing off, I'm Garrett. And I'm Phil. And today we have learned Mr. Neppy likes both schools, Morningside and TK Stone. And we also learned that Mr. Elmore likes to dress up like a fairy. Thank you for this interview, Mr. Elmore.
Very disturbing.
Thank you, Mr. Neppy. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was a great interview, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was. You know, I miss Mr. Nessie.
Yeah, I do too.
Well, anyways, next up is the interview with Miss Perry about the 8th grade trip with Nathaniel Herringshaw and Jacob Mangum.
Hello, TK today. I'm Nathaniel, and I'm here with Miss Perry, a social studies teacher at TK. And we're here to talk to you about this 8th grade trip. So, I hear we're having an 8th grade trip. Can you tell me what's going on with this?
It's such a good time for our 8th graders to go on an overnight trip. This year we're going to Washington, D.C.
That sounds fun. So, how much does this trip cost?
This trip this year is $394 for a quad room. Quad is 4, so that's, as you know, 4 to a room. So a lot of times students get that confused. Okay.
Where do you think we'll be going during this trip?
Okay, I just happened to bring an itinerary. We will be leaving Thursday, March the 28th. I'm sorry, that's Wednesday. We're going Wednesday, March the 27th at 6 o'clock. We'll leave TK. And on Thursday, we will travel all night and we'll reach Washington, D.C. at 9 o'clock in the morning. The first place we'll go is the Muse Museum. That is an awesome, absolutely awesome museum. I've never seen anything like this. This is not boring at all. This is not just a bunch of statues and you just go around and read. This is very interactive. The Muse Museum is one of our favorite places. And we go on to other museums, visit the Natural and American History Museum. Then we'll have a dinner at the Pentagon City. Then we're going to visit the Jefferson Memorial. And we have a photo shot at the White House. And then by that time, it's about 9 o'clock that night. And then we check into the hotel. That's for Thursday.
That brings me to my next question. What hotels will we be staying in?
I won't know that until a little bit closer to the actual date of the trip, because they don't do that finalization of the hotel with the phone number, but you will have it. We will have a parent meeting that will give you a detailed packing list, a recommended packing list. You will have your luggage tags. You will have hotel information, all that a little bit later, probably at our early March, late February meeting.
Sounds good. What type of transportation will we be using?
We will not be riding in the old yellow school bus. We will be riding in a modern motor coach, very comfortable because we'll be there all night long. You know, when we're traveling, it's all night long. We suggest that you bring pillows and blankets and lots of snacks and things like that. And it does have a bathroom on our motor coach, but we ask that everybody wait if they can. We stop every 2 hours so you can go to the public restrooms, but it's there if you need it.
Okay. I've been there before, and it takes a pretty long time to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that would make a lot of sense to.
Mm-hmm.
So when does this trip start?
like I said from the beginning, the day, and I want to make sure I clarify that, the dates are March the 27th through the 31st. We leave Wednesday, March the 27th at 6 o'clock p.m. here at TK. And we ask everybody to be here, ready to go.
In your opinion, what's the best part of this trip?
You know, I really just like seeing the kids have a good time. And I know that may not be the teacher answer. The teacher answer would probably be learning all the things about seeing all the monuments and learning a lot of different things and having that knowledge of what they read in a textbook, they can actually see it. The changing of the guards. We just had, for Veterans Day, we had such a great ceremony, and our kids saw the changing of the guards in some of the classrooms, and we will see that and actually experience that at Arlington. But I think it's so good as a teacher for me to sit back and see how the students learn to problem solve. In a hotel room, if 4 is in a room, 4 young ladies are in a room, they have to learn how to get up, time management, who's gonna have the blow dryer, who's taking a shower in the morning, who's taking it in the evening. So, and just having fun. We have a great time singing on the bus, watching movies. It's just a great time of fellowship and fun, and plus learning.
Always included. Why'd you pick this location for our trip?
Every year, Ms. Mather and I sit down and we discuss, okay, where should we go this year? And we try to make sure that wherever we go is in a radius of no more than 1 day of travel. We try to make the trips between 15 hours, no longer than 15 hours, because that's a long time, even on a comfortable motor coach. So we try to look at the surrounding area. Geography is a big key, and we try to look for historical sites, things that would interest the students, and that they would really enjoy going, because this is an investment for parents. This money and time is an investment for parents and students, and that's why I asked them to have a scrapbook, because they may not like it right now, but I have so many students. This is 19 years of doing this, and students have their scrapbook that they can go back and look. Ask Miss Atcher, she'll tell you. She was one of my students, and she was one that still has their scrapbook even today.
That's really good. I'll bring one of those for me. And my last question, what everybody wants to know, what are we gonna be eating during this trip?
We have that's one thing we could say, we feed you. I mean, that seems like that's all we do on this trip is eat. There are lots, when we're traveling, we usually stop at a fast food kind of establishment like McDonald's, Burger King, that's on the road. But when we get to Pentagon City, there's usually a food court type of, and then you get to choose whatever station you want to eat. And then in the evenings, we usually have different restaurants that when you look at your itinerary, some of those dinners are included. In the morning, the hotel usually have a really good breakfast laid out for us, and we're ready to go. Food is not an issue. We eat the whole time, looks like.
Okay, I'm Nathaniel, and this is Miss Perry. We're signing off for TK Today.
So that's where we're going for the trip.
Yeah! So, before we sign off, we have Christian Innes and Mr. Thorne on the Fuel Up program.
Hello, TK Stone. Today we're in Coach Thorne's office, and we're going to interview him about Fuel Up to Play 60.
All right.
So, what is Fuel Up to Play 60?
Well, Christian, Fuel Up to Play 60 is a program designed for healthier eating and physical activity. It's an approach we do to try to get everybody in our school up and moving and living a healthier lifestyle.
Cool. What are the benefits of Fuel Up to Play 60?
The benefits. Well, to me, a healthier school benefits everybody. With everybody up and moving and eating healthier, You're going to feel better about yourself. You're going to be able to focus better in school and improve your grades. So, there's just so many benefits to list, but those are just a few that come to mind.
So, what do you like about Fuel Up to Play 60?
I think what I like the most about Fuel Up to Play 60 is that it's open to anybody. Whether you play a sport or not, you can come out. You're more than welcome to come out and fuel up and just get involved. It's just a great way to get involved within your school.
So, who can be in Fuel Up to Play 60?
Again, Fuel Up to Play 60, it's open to anybody. 6th, 7th, 8th grade, boy or girl. You're more than welcome to come out after school and get involved. And also teachers. We want the teachers to get involved also. So again, it's school-wide. Anybody can attend.
Why would someone want to be in Fuel Up to Play 60?
Well, a few reasons that come to mind why you would want to be in Fuel Up to Play 60 is one, maybe again, you just care about your health. You want to learn how to live healthier and get active, so that's one main reason. A second main reason would be you want to get involved. We already discussed that a little bit. Maybe you just want to get involved within your school and maybe take on a leadership role within your school. And then finally, the third reason why that comes to mind is probably the cool prizes you can win also.
Okay. Where can you go to learn about Fuel Up to Play 60?
Probably the best place to go to learn more about Fuel Up to Play 60 would be the website at fueluptoplay60.com. And you can also check with me, Mr. Elmore, or one of the Fuel Up to Play 60 staff members that work at the food store after school.
Okay. So, at a coach's point of view, that's Fuel Up to Play 60.
Thanks for watching TK Today. I'm Isaiah.
I'm Chelsea, and we'll be back soon with another episode of TK Today.